just going to affirm what we already know, that if you have a desire to help and a heart filled with love, you can use your gifts and talents to bless others. And that's exactly what this story is all about. So joining us is Katie Robinson. She is the mother of Rosie, who is the highlight of the story, although she's not here with us today. She's a 6-year-old. And then we have Taylor Riddle. She is a 10th grader, and she's already a pro baker, baking up things for those in need. So welcome both.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome, Taylor.
Thank you.
Okay, Katie, let's start with you, because this whole story wouldn't be a story without Rosie and your family's journey. And unfortunately, it's not necessarily one full of rainbows and butterflies just yet. So introduce us to Rosie, and then some of the twists and turns your family's story has taken.
Sure, Rebecca. I'm so grateful to be here and to share Rosie's journey. Rosie had her first seizure in September of 2017 at the age of 2.5. She was going down for a nap, and I was laying down with her, and she just started having a full, what most people know as a grand mal seizure, full convulsions, full body. And it was the scariest moment of my entire life. No one wants to see their child go through something like that, and we had no reason for why she would all of a sudden start doing something like that. And so the ambulance came, and we went to the hospital. Everything was clear. They told us she may never have a seizure again and to live our lives. We had a follow-up in-clinic EEG that lasted about 20 minutes that was clear, and they sent us on our way. She had another seizure a month later, which necessitated getting on the books to have an MRI and just make sure everything was clear. But we did not have a follow-up appointment at Children's of Mississippi until that January. She had several more seizures over the course of the fall of 2017, and then on Christmas Day, she went uncontrolled, and she was deemed medically fragile with explosive onset epilepsy, and she continued to have anywhere between 7 and 15 grand mal seizures a day. We went through the terrible trial and error of medications, trying to find a medication combo that would help. But we saw her going down so very quickly. Between the seizure activity and the side effects from all of the medications, we were losing our child.
So by this time, she's 3-ish?
She turned 3 in February of 2018.
I just can't imagine every waking moment of every day being a ticking time bomb,
Yes.
not knowing when it would have. I mean, your entire world has to sort of stop and slow.
It did. We were in the hospital from Christmas Day to through January 2nd, and immediately we had to make changes for our house, for our home, to make it safe for her. We had an immediate install of high-quality carpeting. The carpet pad cost way more than the carpet itself. We had nothing but concrete floors, and so you immediately had to make adjustments. We also have an older child, and that was very scary for her. The changes and not knowing in and out of the hospital with your younger sister, it was a struggle for all of us to make accommodations, and we're very blessed with family and a community that loves and supports us. But
it's a game changer. It seems like overnight, just the way you were going about life, down to one nap time, and then nothing has ever been the same sort of since then. When it comes to epilepsy, it feels like, you hear the word, you kind of have an idea of what maybe that means. But for Rosie, what does that diagnosis actually mean for her? Is this something that she still battles multiple a day? Did you finally find something that clicked for her to maybe, help manage them? What's the last 3 years been like? Because I know she's 6 now.
Yes.
So there is some span between when it first happened to now trying to figure out life with this. So what are some of the ways that you guys have learned to continue on with life?
Well, we were very blessed with Dr. Brad Ingram at Children's of Mississippi. He recognized very early on that medication was not going to be an option for her, that nothing was working. We were seeing side effects. We were seeing multiple seizure types with the added medications. She failed 10 epilepsy drugs, including failures in rescue medications. So he had us start the medical ketogenic diet in February of 2018. And so we've been on the ketogenic diet for 3 years now. We were able to go med-free, and that eliminated all of the side effects from the terrible medicine that she was on. Her mobility got better, her speech got better, and she was cleared to go to preschool last year. And so the ketogenic diet really changed everything for her, and it gave her a quality of life that we really did not know that we could get back.
Well, Katie, I appreciate you using the word it was a medical intervention with the ketogenic diet, because as a dietitian and many listening to Good Things, keto is such a trendy word right now, right? Yes. So how do you easily sort of draw the line in the sand versus what people listening think that maybe Rosie is on in terms of a air quote keto diet versus what Rosie's actual day-to-day meal plan or diet kind of looks like for her to stay the course for it to be nutrition therapy?
Yes, of course. Her medical ketogenic diet can only be done and prescribed by a neurologist, and it has to be implemented in consult with a trained and very special trained dietitian. And we are currently seen at Le Bonheur Hospital in Memphis, and we work with the Charlie Foundation out of California, and they provide families with literature and education, but most importantly, a keto calculator that you can use, that your dietitian helps you with recipes, but all of her macros are in there as far as fats, carbs, and protein. And the medical ketogenic diet is very different because at one point, like our highest, when we started the ketogenic diet, she was on what they call a classic 4-to-1, which means 4 grams of fat for every 1 gram of carb plus protein. And so she was less than 5 grams of carbs per day.
That's crazy.
So we were measuring out, and we have to measure everything on a gram scale to the 10th of a gram. Everything is measured except for water, and everything has to be perfectly measured according to that particular recipe.
And I would say you wouldn't wish this on anyone.
Absolutely not.
So as a dietitian, when I hear people say, oh, I'm going to do this for weight loss or for health, I quickly respond with, you are confused with what you're actually following. And those that are grateful, like you and your family, Katie, for this medical nutrition therapy that is giving your daughter Rosie a chance. But you wouldn't wish she would give anything to be able to have a slice of the cake, which Taylor is the other piece of the story that the community came around to help her with. So, yes. So I mean, and I say that with just sincerity as a dietitian. You think you're doing something, but there's already ramifications for her following this diet for her livelihood. You mentioned they are having to follow up with her cholesterol and some other things, too, that are side effects to it.
Yes, we do battle many side effects after being on the diet for 3 years. Most epilepsy patients who go on the ketogenic diet are only on the diet for 1 to 2 years. We have stayed on the diet because it is the only treatment that gives us seizure control. Rosie is not seizure-free at this time, but we do have control on the ketogenic diet. But she also has stunted growth, high cholesterol at the age of 6, and among other things. We have to have blood work done at least every 6 months, if not more. She takes 15 supplements a day, including one of those is baking soda water to help with acidosis. So there's a lot of things that go into the medical ketogenic diet that people, when they say, oh, I'm going to start the keto diet for weight loss or something like that, I would highly recommend that you work with a doctor, with a dietitian. This is not a diet that anybody can just